Morning and morning. All right, we back once again. So here's the calendar that we're kind of following. At least I'm following. I don't know if anybody else is caring about this, but with the windows of weakness, windows of strength, we're kind of entering this moment where Vanna and Charm are going to start coming back into play. Vanna being a volatility, either expansion or contraction, most likely contraction, but we'll be looking for whether or not VIX is being suppressed, if there's an element to that, or if it's going to be allowed to sort of expand, if folks are going to be, you know, buying protection and there's not too much supply essentially to sort of force that suppression to happen. So we don't want to see that if we're traders. We want to see volatility allowed to expand. Hopefully, there's not too much of that suppression going on going into the next OPEX. Charm's not really going to have that much of an effect on the big expirations yet, but you probably might see some of that coming into play, maybe into Friday, and into basically into the end of the week. This week, a short week, you'll probably see a little bit more of that charm than anything. So watching the VIX, if it's allowed to move up, allowed to expand, we're in a negative gamma environment, then you're going to see a lot of volatility. If it's being suppressed, you start seeing price get above these volatility triggers. Looking at SPX, we're going to open up somewhere around 39.50, 39.60, which happens to be essentially the top of the range for today, 39.65, and our vol triggers here at 4,000. So pretty safely nested underneath the vol trigger, and you got a huge gamma, magnet level or whatever you want to call it here at 3,900. So I would expect price to sort of try and be, basically pulled down into this black hole here. Looking at SPY, similar situation with SPY being 30 basically 390. That's a put wall. And then you get your call wall at 400. So that sort of lines up with an SPX of 4,000 being just the range there, 400 to 390. And your vol trigger is sitting here at 405. So again, our expected range for today, we're going to open outside of that. I think this would update, once the market opens. But I would say probably looking at like this would be your expected range here, 397 for a high on SPY. 397 down to about 387. So since 387 would be, I'm just using tomorrow's range. Since 387 would be outside of the put wall there, you're probably looking at a range of something like 397 to 390. So 7 points on SPY as far as the range goes. If you can catch some good patterns like a bull flag or bear flag or some kind of reversal off the highs, that'd be a good time to buy puts around that 397, 30 or 3965 on SPX. So those both would line up. If those break, then it might trigger a squeeze. We'd have to watch the VIX. We'll look at the VIX GEX here in just a minute. For today, 3965 happens to be the vol trigger. So again, in my mind, this is capping the upside. So kind of nice to know that ahead of time, capping the upside there. And then, so we're going to open up around here. We'll probably see a drive into that level. And who knows? I don't know if this 3950 is going to hold, but it looks like 3925, 3900 probably in play if we do see some more volatility. SPY actually closed. Actually looking positive here. I don't think it closed this way, but looking positive. I haven't looked at any of these charts all weekend because I was just going to wait for the OI to update. And then we got 394 again, still being the vol trigger here for today. So keeping an eye out on that being the vol trigger, since our 3965 is for SPX, but 394. So might end up being choppy today. We'll see. But looking at that GEX N, 400 sort of being the top of the range 405. I could see maybe 397, 398 getting tagged on SPY. VIX, again, don't gex the VIX is what people always tell me, but it helps me to look at it. I don't really care. This vol trigger plays out. So 26 being the total vol trigger, that's all I really care about and where price is. So right now VIX is under that. So potentially looking at some more of this, maybe some VIX suppression coming in at the beginning, and then maybe some charm coming in just because of the long weekend. Charm essentially being time to expiration, affecting these positions. So we could see some situations like that, and then for tomorrow, which would be tomorrow's expiration for VIX 21. So we're holding 21 into tomorrow, just remaining volatile. So that's good. Looking like they're going to try and pin at 27 for tomorrow. But we'll see how this picture changes, and hopefully this helps you, and we'll see you next time. Peace.